Hello, I'm Chris Barrow with the BBC News. The Thai Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha has said the soldier who shot dead 26 people began his rampage because of a dispute over a house sale. In the hours before the attack, the gunman posted a message online denouncing greedy people. The Prime Minister spoke outside the hospital where he met some of the wounded survivors of the attack.
Since the incident, our investigations have found that the gunman had a personal conflict about an agent's fee in a land-buying business with his senior officer and his mother-in-law. They argued for 3 days. No one thought it would turn violent.
The coronavirus outbreak that's sweeping China has now killed more people than the SARS epidemic nearly 20 years ago. More than 800 people have died. Although the number of cases of the virus in China appears to have stabilised, harsh restrictions remain in place. In a BBC interview, the Chinese ambassador to the UK, Liu Xiaoming, urged people to stay calm.
Don't be panic. We believe this virus is controllable, is preventable, is curable. So we are confident that with the strong leadership of the central government of China, with the united people of China behind us, and with the broad support of the international community, we can beat this virus and win the battle.
Thousands of people stuck on a cruise ship in Hong Kong have been told they can now disembark after crew members tested negative for coronavirus. 3,600 crew and passengers were stranded for 5 days. Iran says it's about to launch a scientific research satellite into space in a development that's likely to worry the United States. An Iranian minister said the project was aimed at gathering information for the study of agricultural development and earthquakes. The US has said in the past that Iran's satellite program is a cover for the creation of long-range missiles. It fears the rockets could be adapted to carry nuclear warheads. Leaders from the African Union are meeting for an annual summit in the Ethiopian capital Addis Ababa, where they're discussing how to end the continent's many conflicts. The heads of state will push for an African-led solution to the civil war in Libya. An unsteady truce is in place there between the UN-backed government in Tripoli and General Khalifa Haftar, who controls the east. The UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, who'll address the summit, told the BBC that progress was vital.
We hope that it will be able to create the conditions for a ceasefire, but we are not yet there. And I think the whole international community must come together and say that a ceasefire in Libya is absolutely essential, that Libyans must be left by themselves to solve their own problems. These wars by proxy are unacceptable in the modern world, and that Africa has a key role to play in finding a solution for Libya.
Here's the latest world news from the BBC. Polls have closed in Switzerland after a referendum on whether to extend anti-discrimination laws to cover sexual orientation and identity. Supporters of the change point to reduce homophobic attacks and to high suicide rates among gay people. The government backs the legislation, but opponents say it's so vague that it may apply to private conversations. Initial projections indicate that about 2/3 of voters are in favour. Afghanistan's defence ministry has confirmed that an Afghan soldier was killed alongside 2 Americans when a man in an Afghan military uniform opened fire in Nangarhar. It happened as the combined US and Afghan force was carrying out an operation in the province. 6 Americans and 3 Afghans were injured. A US military spokesman said the motive for the attack wasn't clear. Voters in Azerbaijan are casting their ballots in a hastily called parliamentary election. It follows a major government reshuffle which saw many senior officials dismissed. Reyhan Dimitri reports.
This snap election has been described by Azerbaijan's long-standing president Ilham Aliyev as an opportunity for new faces to enter Azeri politics. For years, the legislature has been dominated by his ruling New Azerbaijan Party. Among them are prominent pro-democracy and human rights activists. But Aliyev's opponents say the parliamentary election is unlikely to bring real democratic reform in oil-rich Azerbaijan. It has been ruled by the Aliyev dynasty for nearly 30 years.
And a British Airways flight from New York to London has broken the record for the fastest subsonic flight across the Atlantic on the back of strong winds. The overnight journey on Saturday took 4 hours and 56 minutes, more than an hour faster than normal. The plane hurtled across the ocean at ground speeds of up to 1,300 kilometres an hour. It was propelled by a powerful jet stream that's causing severe storms in northwestern Europe. BBC News.